I love when we get to teach all the new fun stuff. And I should just caveat really quick that if you're joining us from our vendor MLSs, hello, I see quite a few names coming in from our vendor MLSs. We're going to be covering a lot of different products today. If you don't see a particular product that's offered, let's say you go under resources and you don't see that particular product, you can always reach out to us and ask about it, or you can reach out to your AE of your MLS or association to find out about that product. So again, because we've invited all of our vendor MLSs, which we're happy to have on our call, but everybody offers something different. Some people offer this tool, but maybe not this tool. And so just if you do have any question or you don't see a particular product that we're going to cover today, don't hesitate to reach out to us at My Real Source or your AE at your MLS. All right.
All right, I'm going to show my screen. I'm going to turn off my webcam. We'll, turn them back on at the end, but we're going to just have full screen of the demo and the presentation. So I'm going to get that started right now. All right, everybody see the presentation?
I can see it.
All right, great. All right, well, thank you for joining the Tools for Tackling Low Inventory, the class we all want, we all need, given today's market. So like I mentioned, we are going to be covering lots of different products. So we have 3 products that we're going to be tying together. Colleen is going to do a brief demo of all 3 of them: Market Stats, New Home Source Pro, and Cloud CMA. And then we're going to marry them together and create some ads and some boosting posts on Facebook. And then I'm going to conclude with a little demo of Cubicasa as well that I want to share with you guys. But the first, or one of the products I should say that we're going to go over is called Market Stats. Now, you've maybe used Market Stats before for just your own education on the market, looking at reports, maybe sending that over to your team or to a seller or a potential buyer. But what we're going to do for this is kind of take it to one step further, and we're going to use Market Stats to tell a story and to capture those seller leads, but also setting those expectations for your buyers. So a current market report is something that you can use. Colleen's going to show you how to do all of this, but we like to tell you what we're going to show you. What is it called, Colleen? The Safe Island technique?
Safe Island technique. Yes. Yep. Tell them what you're going to tell them first, then show them, and then go back over what you already told them.
Yes. So hopefully it all sticks to in there, because it is a lot of information today. So now part of Market Stats is a fast stats report, which discusses the inventory. You can go in, you can kind of show those inventory shortages that we're in, but what's really nice about it and what we're going to tie together today is creating a live graph. And you can create graphs on tons of different variables. You can combine them together. You can set the time frames, all these things, from new listings, month supply, homes for sale, days on market, and many more. So today, one of them we're going to use is you can use it also to develop content to capture leads. So a good one to use right now that we'll demo, or I'll demo myself, is price per square foot, days on the market, percent to list price, and how that can entice the seller, but also capture that lead. So not just show them the information and demonstrate that you're the expert, but how you can capture that lead and convert it into a potential seller and get some more houses on the market. So when you share this content on social media, you can share it on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm going to show you how to do that, where you can boost your posts. You can have those call to actions where they can fill out their information. They have a lot of information that will be useful for them, and then you can follow up as the expert. Another way you can use Market Stats as well is if you have a website, you can actually have a blog section on your website. So if you wanted to write a paragraph about the graph that you created, it will give you an iframe where you can paste that in and have it in your blog on your website, and go ahead and share it from there as well. When we go over Market Stats, it's just the graph, and they can read, it's interactive, and they can read that and look at that. But How do you capture that information? Well, there's two things that we can do. One's going to be with Cloud CMA, which we'll go over. And then another thing that you can use is New Home Source Pro, which we'll go over. And then if you do have a CRM, that directory can be captured and you can send that information over to your CRM as well if you're an agent that uses that. Another product that we're going to be showing and going over is New Home Source Pro. Now, this is one that we really, really like. It's a useful tool for lead capture. It's also a really good thing for, you know, with the inventory being so low, sometimes it can make buyers feel, you know, hopeless, like they're not going to find their dream home. They're not going to be able to. They're going to keep losing out. But maybe they're just not quite ready to pull the trigger either. So what New Home Source is going to do is be that MLS companion for new construction. So in a way, it's its own little database of new constructions, new communities that are up and coming. You can set your seller up with new inventory in Paragon, but you can also set them up with new communities for New Home Source Pro. So when I say seller, somebody might want to be getting a new home and sell their home at top dollar, but that's kind of intimidating right now with no inventory on the market. But with New Home Source, they can get their new construction home. They can kind of be set up that you can incubate that lead for when they really are ready to list their home. Using it for lead capture is great for anybody who's anxious to just start looking for a home. They can have their collaboration center set up right in the MLS, but then they can also have an account set up or a profile set up in New Home Source. And all of that, all those leads come filtering to you. They're not going to go directly to the buyer or to the builder, I'm sorry. So everything is still going to be ran through you as the agent, communication right through New Home Source Pro. If they do have an inquiry about a new up and coming community or property that's going to be built or is already built. And this is great given that the median days on market is about 9 days. So that can be really defeating. And that's why New Home Source Pro is a great tool to offer to your clients. So how this is going to work, and Colleen's going to demo it live, but there's a lead capture form that's filled out under your account. So when you go into New Home Source as the agent, you'll have a unique URL to a landing page. They can fill out and set up their own client view where they can go in and they can inquire about properties and go in and kind of coordinate with you about a particular community or up and coming listing. And then from there, that lead goes to you and you then can go with the builder's rep. So it's not going around you as the agent. You are still working with this client on their behalf with the builder's rep. So just like current, you know, how it is now, that offer of commission or compensation is no longer in the MLS, but this is going to be exactly how you're doing things now with no commission or compensation in the MLS. You're going to have that separate agreement between the agent and the builder. So the builder will not reach out to the client from that lead. It is only linked to your URL, and then you can handle it from there as the agent. So if I were a consumer, somebody that's looking to, you know, potentially buy some new construction, what's going to happen is I'm going to set up my name and my email, and this is the email that you will get. So it's going to come through from me, branded from Taylor, but it's being addressed to Scarlett. Scarlett is the one who's inquiring about that. And this is where you can contact that lead about setting up the any kind of showings or anything like that. But by setting up this account as a consumer, they're immediately able to start searching new construction in their area. Now, how do I know that Scarlett inquired about this? Well, in my profile, I will see her but I also get a notification that somebody is interested in setting up an account and is inquiring about any properties. And then the third product that Colleen's going to demonstrate is Cloud CMA. And the lead capture, there's a lot to Cloud CMA, as we know, from creating your CMA reports and property flyers and all of that. But there is a lead capture feature in here, and we're going to tie that in with all of these other products. And that will be used to kind of give somebody their own CMA based on a URL that you can then share. So it's going to, say, hey, what's your home worth? You can fill out your name, your email, and the address. And what it's going to do is it's going to pull those comps that are in your area or within, that price range and area that it can pull from the property address. Then you, as the agent, can follow up and give a more detailed CMA. This report will have comparables, market information, the agent's information, and it'll also allow the agent to then customize further a CMA. But what's really nice about this lead capture link that Colleen's going to show is that you can customize the pages even further. That's just for that lead capture, what's your home worth in the Cloud CMA. So these are just some little examples real quick. I'm not going to dive into them too much, but here's a way that you can use Facebook is you can share that new home source site, the public facing site. It's going to be branded to you, but you can also use the CMA lead capture link too. So it's all about how you're explaining why they should care and then a call to action. So an attention grabber, why you should care, and then a call to action. So we're going to have some sample Facebook posts that you can use just to kind of give you an idea. I recommend a small paragraph and then a call to action with the 2 links, or either give me a call at whatever number or email me at whatever email. Another way that you can use this is market stats. So it's an interactive graph. You can share that graph really easily right to your Facebook page, your business page. And then you can also have that call to action to either New Home Source Pro or Cloud CMA's lead capture, what's your home worth. So when you go into market stats, you can kind of look at those graphs. We give you some sample ones of, why it's important for a seller right now to list their home, the value of that, but also, hey, what is your home worth? Or, oh, hey, don't worry about it. There is this new construction site. If that's something that you're interested in, you want to sell your home at top dollar, all-time high, but we have several communities up and coming in your area. Let's set you up. So one thing that I think gets kind of confusing between boosts and ads. When to use them? How do I even set them up? What kind of audiences should I build? Really, what should I be using Facebook for? Should I be linking my Instagram with it? Should I even have an Instagram? There's so much to it. And if you aren't already doing that, that's okay. Just kind of ease into it. Dip your toes in a little bit with a boost. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that at the end. But when you go into your Facebook page, this is not going to be tied to your personal page. You have to have a business page. When you have a business page, you can then go in, you can track the views and the hits on your page, the activity on each individual post, and then you can actually set up a little ad or a boost so that it shows up in their timeline or shows up as an advertisement. And then that will also track that and capture some of those leads for you. So the difference between a boost and an ad, a boosted post is going to be on your page's timeline. So your wall, timeline, Facebook Meta likes to change terminology for everything. Back in the day, it used to be called a wall. Now they call it the timeline. So you can apply, you can put your credit card information in on your business page. It'll automatically save that, so it's an easy way to boost an ad for 10, 15 plus dollars. You can get a lot of bang for your buck for just, a $20 boost, where you're going to get hundreds of people able to make sure that that post that you made on your Facebook business page is seen by those people. They see it as a natural looking post. It's more organic looking. It doesn't necessarily look like an ad. Now, this is the simplest way to have your post reach more people on Facebook or Instagram. You can also have it set up so that they can message you directly to your Facebook Messenger page. There is a lot more customization available in a boost. So you can already set it to people who follow your page, so you can make sure that they see this post, they see this graph, they see your new site on New Home Source, and it's going to show up very, very naturally. Now, from an ad standpoint, ads are kind of used in a different way. So your ads are going to be something that's really going to have, you're really trying to sell a specific thing. So I would say, for the most part, for what we're teaching with these products, a boost is going to be the way to go. But that does not mean that you can't advertise your New Home Source Pro website by any means. You just want to have it make sense for what you're trying to sell here. So you're trying to get them to create an account under New Home Source. Maybe an ad for that might be something you could do. The customizations are a lot stricter for an ad, and it is going to display as an advertisement across Facebook for anybody who falls under this category of your audience.
All right. Well, I'm going to kick it over to me if that's okay.
Yep, go ahead.
All right. So, well, let me first start off by saying we're going to go over a lot of information. I know Taylor sort of did the recap of everything we're going to show you. But if you joined us late, remember, we're recording this class. So if you missed any part of this, or you just need to kind of slow it down, because we're going to go over a great amount of information in our live demo, we are recording this, and we will show you exactly where you can find this class starting tomorrow. So you can go back and you can see anything that you might have missed. And if you joined us late too, remember, we welcome your questions. You can fire off those questions in your GoToWebinar panel, which probably right now is minimized over at the right side of your screen, but there is a questions box. Taylor's going to take the questions when I do the live demo, and then I'm going to take the questions when she does her part. So feel free to fire those in there. But really, what I want to show you first is what Taylor described as giving great information out on market stats to show that you are a leader in your marketplace. Even if you're brand new, you can actually show the stats out and tell the story. And Taylor's going to show you how to write some great posts with what I'm going to show you. But basically, it's giving great information out there. And that's the first piece, showing that you are an expert in your industry, knowing the marketplace. Again, even if you're new, I'm going to show you some great ways that you can do that. However, there's a second piece. It's always great to put information out there, but how are you returning that lead? How are you getting that lead back to you, so they're actual contacts that you're working with? That's the key piece I think so many times we miss. So it's putting out the information, but driving them to click on something that automatically gives you that lead back. And so that's what we're going to cover first. And it's done actually by taking two of the lead generation tools and combining them together. So where we're going to start first is, obviously, we're going to go into Paragon. Hopefully you can see my screen. We're going to go into Paragon, and we're going to start there right under resources. If you've taken any classes with us before, you know I am always saying, think of resources as your agent toolbox, right? So we're going to go right here, and I know what you're thinking, Colleen, why is it 4th of July? Well, I actually did it for the election, since that's what everybody's talking about these days, right? So I'm going to go right up here to where it says resources. And what I want to do first is I want to go to this social media and lead gen area, and I want to click on market stats, because that's actually where we're going to start today. Now, Market Stats does a whole lot, and there's a whole class just on this product when we're talking about just lead generation. I love Market Stats when it comes to the fast stats area. I don't know if you've used this, but I never, ever, ever do a CMA without including fast stats. And here's why. Let's say, and I'm just going to use my marketplace. I know we got people all the way up in the UP on our call today. But I am a huge fan of always telling sellers what's going on in their marketplace. But of course, I want it to be easy. So right up here where fast stats is, you can say, you know what, maybe I'm listing a home, maybe I'm going on a CMA appointment and I'm going to be listing a home we'll use Sterling Heights. And I want to show that homeowner exactly what's going on in their marketplace. It's as easy as clicking on the city name and creating this great, easy to read graph. So Market Stats does a whole lot, but I love the fact that just with one click, I can show the homeowner exactly what's going on in their marketplace. Like, for instance, right now, from last year to this year, if I go up here to residential sales, I can see that there was 141 homes on the market last year, 144 this year. So we've got a positive net of about 2%. But we can also show that homeowner that, yeah, still seeing the true value here. Look at our average sales price. Our average sales price went from 322 in Sterling Heights to 353 this year. It also is going to show quickly what the days on market. So we're setting those expectations with the seller right here. Down below here, condos are broken out separately. As you can see, the condo market's doing well in Sterling Heights. It's up 15%. So you can see, but we're still seeing an average sales price of going up, right? And still in that low supply. So we are seeing obviously prices going up and continuing to go up because there's just not enough homes for the buyer demand right now. So I love it for fast stats. But what I want to show you next is really what you're going to use to get more inventory. That's the name of the class, right? What tools do we use to pick up more listings, and how do we do it? And how do we make it easy for the consumer to understand? So, where we're going to go next is the second piece of this market stats product. And this is really where we're telling our story, right? And I like to tell people, think of these tiles down below as kind of the story you wish to tell. For me, I kind of want to show that right now people should be putting their homes on the market. Everybody always says, I'm going to wait till spring. Let's show them right now why this is the perfect time to put their home on the market and why they should list with you. So I'm going to go down to these I call them story tiles, but I'm going to go down and I'm going to say, maybe I want to tell them why they would get more for selling in this market today than waiting to spring, or why they're going to get more than if they had previously put their home on the market. So I'm going to start off with this price per square foot tile. And of course, you can do it by median, you can do it by average. I'm going to say I want to show the average price per square foot, but maybe I'm looking to pick up listings in a particular area. So where do I want to tell this story? So for me, now you could do it by county. You could do it by school district. I know I was teaching in Detroit, they use the postal code a lot because Detroit is such a large populated area. You could even draw out your own area. So we've got Cindy Mancero on our call today. Maybe she's doing a lot of waterfront properties. She could even draw out the waterfront area over several counties or several cities to create her own area that she wants to tell her story in. So in this case, I am going to say that maybe I just want to compare a couple cities. So maybe I want to show maybe I want to pick up new listings. So I want to show what's going on in Shelby Township. Maybe I want to compare that to what's going on in Macomb Township. And maybe I also want to compare that with what's going on in, we'll say, that Sterling Heights market. All I need to do is go up top and start typing in the city name, and I can pull that into the graph that I'm creating. Now, let's face it, if we shared this out to the public, they would have no idea what the heck this is, right? We have to give it some parameters. And of course, you could add things like square footage. If you were looking to pick up 1,000 square foot homes in Sterling Heights with 3 bedrooms, you could go and put bedrooms, bathrooms. I mean, you can actually add a lot of detail in here. However, in this case, I want to make it so it's going to be easy for the consumer at one quick look to see what the story is we're telling. So I'm going to change this from a line graph that nobody likes to a bar graph, right? So now we're starting to build our story. And of course, you could change your timelines. You could go back 1 year, 3 years. You could go back quarters or rolling months. You're just building the story that you want to tell. Now, for me, I can quickly see here that in 2000, let's say in 22, if they were to put that same 1,000 square foot brick ranch on the market, they would have only gotten $176 per square foot. Whereas if they're doing that now, look at that, $194 per square foot. So I'm building the story that I want to tell, how if they were to sell now versus just 2 years ago in what we thought was the hottest of markets, they might actually be getting twenty to $30,000 more for that same house. So I'm building that story that I want to tell, right? I've picked my areas, I've picked the story. Now I want to go ahead and I want to share this to social media. Now, of course, we want to share it. In this case, I want to share it so it is a static graph. I'm telling a particular story. However, you could share it as a live graph, meaning if you were maybe putting this on your website, maybe you were advertising this in other places, you might want to make that a live graph. So every time they click on it, it has updated numbers. In this case, I want to keep this static because I want to tell this particular story over what's gone on in the last couple of years. You could send it as a PDF, but in this case, I really want to post this out onto social media. So I'm going to say I want to open this in a social media window, basically. And so this would be my link, but let me show you what it's going to look like. So I'm going to open this interactive graph up. When the consumer sees this on, say, let's say Facebook or wherever you decide you want to post this, maybe you want to put it on LinkedIn, maybe you want to, I guess we do need to change that little Twitter button to the X now, but maybe you want to share this on social media. Of course, you want to share it in a way that it's going to be interactive so that they can see what these numbers mean. Obviously, just the number in blue, we want them to know that that's going to be Shelby Township. But now I want to share it in a way that is not only giving the information out, but I want to share it in a way that I'm capturing the lead back. So first, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click the Facebook button because that's where I want to share it. And by the way, there are a bunch of different places that you can share it. So don't feel like you just have to use the ones that you see here. If you click on this plus, it's going to give you a whole bunch of different options to be able to share this out. But basically, I'm trying to tell my story. I'm trying to tell them why right now is the time that they want to list their home. So just going to go ahead and I'm going to share it to Facebook. By the way, if you manage a business page, you can share it to a business page. You can, if you're managing the page for your office, you could put this on your office page. For me, though, now I want to write my call to action. And I'm going to kind of show you an example. But not only do I want them to review this graph, I want them to click and immediately think they're going to get results for themselves. So let me kind of show you what I mean by that. So I've actually shared this to my Facebook business page. I'm just going to give you one quick example. Try to pin it to the top just to kind of make it easy. So when they go in, when the consumer goes in and they are looking at this on Facebook, they can, of course, click into that interactive graph and see more detail about that. And that's great. But I not only want to give the information, I want to capture the information back. So let me give you a quick example that I posted so I didn't have to type it all out while we're all going through this. Are you on the fence about selling your home now or waiting till the spring market? Well, look at these incredible numbers. Sellers are getting much more for their homes than they did just 3 years ago due to the lack of inventory. So, for example, in Shelby, if you have a 1,500 square foot home today, versus just 2 years ago, you'd make approximately $40,000 more for your home today due to the low inventory market. So why wait till spring when everybody's putting their homes on the market? Why don't you click on the link below to find out what your home is worth or simply give me a call? Now, what I've done here is I've actually included the second lead generation tool. So I've created the graph that creates this interactive way to show them what's going on in their market. However, I also want them to click on this link so we can capture the lead back, which is basically a squeeze page or a capture page. But let me show you where this link is generated from. So I've got the information that I'm posting out right from that great information that we looked at in Market Stats. But I now want to tie it to our second lead generation tool, which is in Cloud CMA. So let me show you where you're going to find that. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to basically paste this already created link in to capture the details. So I'm going to go up back into resources because, as I mentioned, resources, think of that as your agent toolbox. That's where you're going to find all of your tools. But this one is already located in Cloud CMA. Now, I love Cloud CMA. It's actually one of my favorite products as an agent. There's a great Cloud CMA class. We actually have two different CMA classes. Excuse me, one on one on actually creating a CMA, but actually Cloud does even more than that. It has a great buyer tour program. It has property inventory reports. It has new interactive features. But the one we're going to focus on today is the lead generation or squeeze page that it already sets up for you. So I'm going to go into Cloud CMA under resources, and I'm going to find my picture right up here at the top. This is where you can add great custom pages. This is where you can do a lot. But the one I want to focus on right now just is the lead generation page. When you click on lead generation, it basically creates a landing page. Some people call them squeeze pages of where you can actually get information sent back to you of who's looking for information on their home. Now, how this works is if you click on view my landing page, it's going to show you exactly what your particular page looks like. By the way, you don't have to buy anything here. This is not an upsell. This is actually already created for you right in your Cloud CMA account. There is upsells you can purchase to make it even fancier. It'll put background covers. You can add more information, but the basic one is fine for me. So basically, it's creating this landing page. You can boost your landing page here. You can also use this. I actually have this embedded right in my email signature. So when I'm returning an email, it says at the bottom, do you want to know what your home is worth? They can click on it right from my email signature. They can click on it from my website. You can embed it on your website. You can also share it directly from here. But it does a couple cool things. When I am ready to copy the link, to do that squeeze page, I can click copy link. Now I'm just going to go into that post and I'm going to paste that right into when I'm posting out my graph. I'm just going to paste that link in with my basically call to action, right? I'm telling them, hey, do you want to know what your home is worth? Simply click on the link below and I'm pasting that right into my post. Well, what does it actually do? Well, I'm going to kind of just show it to you very quickly. When they click on that link, it's going to take them to your page that just says, hey, what's my home worth? Sometimes people are not exactly ready to reach out and contact the agent, right? They just want to simply know, you know what, I kind of wonder, has our home value gone up? That's where this allows them to go in without having to reach out to someone, but it's not going to give them a number. That's what it needs you for. What it is designed to do is to actually pass along some contact information that you've set up ahead of time, a little bit about you, and it will randomly generate 3 or 4 local comps close to them that, of course, they could find on places like Realtor.com or Zillow or other places. Except this is tied to you, and it's also sending their contact information directly to you. So let's actually see what the consumer would see. So the consumer says, okay, I live at 41539 Wessel Drive. They start typing in their address. As you can see, it's going to quick fill that right in here. I'm going to click on that magnifier. It's located on the map. Says, great, we found it. Just put in your name. And by the way, they do have to put in a real email address because it is going to email them the information that, again, has been already predetermined by you. They can go in, they can put in their an optional phone number if they wanted to. They can even go in and put their square footage in so it narrows it down to even more relevant comps. Now I'm going to go ahead and click email my report. The consumer now gets a little pop up and says, hey, great, your report is on the way. But if you want a more accurate professional valuation of your home, simply give Colleen a call at this phone number or here's her email address. Now, what actually happens behind the scenes is the consumer just got a little report with me on the cover with all of my contact information, how long I've been a realtor, other organizations that I might belong to. I have some pre written marketing pages in there. So I've set it up so they immediately get that lead returned to them. But in return, when I go into my CMA page, I can see that Colleen at this address is a new lead. Now, it just emailed me, the agent, that a new lead has come in. I now have exactly what got sent to her. I also can see the address of the property that she inquired, what is her home worth? I can see her contact information, and I can actually go in and I can view exactly what got sent to her. Now, if you are really great about, like, I know Cindy, who's on our call, she's really great about getting back to her leads right away. She's just one of those people who gets the lead in and turns it around immediately. You can even, if that is you and you are that person and you're really good about immediately contacting your leads back, in your lead generation setup, you can check, or if you wanted to automatically send them something that you've designed, you can leave this checked. So it automatically sends out what Cindy Mancero says, hey, this is what I want to go to a new client or a new consumer who might be a future client. So in this case, I would leave this checked because a lot of times I'm teaching for 2 or 3 hours at a time. And so I can't get back to them immediately. And we know that they need an immediate result. However, if you're like Cindy and you're really good about immediately reaching out to that lead, you can even uncheck this, which of course is going to notify Cindy right away that she has a new lead. And now she can actually customize it even further what she wants sent out to that consumer. So for me, I like it automated. I want them to immediately get something. But if you always want to customize exactly what's going out to that person, and you're really good about, reaching out right away, then you might want to uncheck this so that you can actually determine exactly what's going to go to them. Now, how is it determining? You're probably thinking, well, how does it know what I want to be sent? Well, what I've done is I've gone in, and you can do this with any CMA. You could just create a brand new CMA if you wanted. And you could call this, let's call this test if you'd like. And basically, you can set up, and I'm not going to put a whole bunch of properties in here. Let me actually just go back and grab one so I don't have to fill the cover sheet out. Let's go to Tom and Sylvia here. You can set up a template that you want to call something very specific, because when you name your template this item, it knows what to send them. So I'm going to say I want to make a CMA and I want to set up a template, but I want to call it something very specific. I want to call it web lead. Okay, so you're going to name it 2 words just like you see here, and it's going to know which 5 pages I want to automatically go out anytime someone clicks on that link. So I want it to be my title page. I want it to be my contact me page. So I want them to be able to, and if you don't know what a page is, you're going to simply click on it. We'll give you a preview. I want it to, maybe if I wanted my resume in there, I'd go over here, I'd click on my agent resume, slide that in. Maybe you have a marketing page. Or maybe you have a team that you work on and you have a team page. You can actually include anything you want in your web lead. And by doing that, I'm going to go ahead and publish it or save it. By doing that, that's what they're going to automatically receive when they click on that link. Of course, you can go in and you can even customize it further. You can add additional pages. There's upsells that you can do, just like with any product. But the idea is, I want to customize exactly what's going to go to that person when they click on it. So, just kind of as a quick recap, because Taylor and I are always big on telling you what we're going to tell you and then sort of walking you through. I made this great interactive graph. I made it right in Market Stats. From here, I've shared this out, but when I share it out, I'm writing in my call to action, why they should sell right now. But of course, I'm going to copy and paste that link right into my call to action. So again, I'm going to go into Cloud CMA. I'm going to go into my lead generation tool. I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to include that right into my post. So when they click on it, I'm immediately getting that lead back. Does come via email to you as the agent, but as I mentioned, the key piece is you also can go right into cloud and see exactly what got sent to them. We can see this was the lead right here. I can open it up and I can click on view PDF. I can see exactly what all those marketing pieces that I've set up to go out to them. Again, whole class just on this. And I'm going to show you where you can find those classes too. But hopefully, you can see the value of not only giving great information, but having them click on the link so you're capturing their information back and it's being sent to you as the agent. Okay. So now I want to talk about our third tool, which is New Home Source Pro. And I have to be honest, I'm very excited about this. Not every MLS is providing it yet, but certainly with the lack of inventory right now, we want a tool that's going to allow us to work with our buyers and see things that are up and coming. Meaning, buyers today, they're getting a little frustrated out there, right? They're feeling like, I've been looking, I've been writing. How come we don't have a home yet? It is a little frustrating for them. So, how do we simplify that process? And how do we tie it in? Because one of the things when we started looking at this that I didn't like, I'll just say it, they're not just only looking at new construction, right? They're also looking to find if something does come on the market. So we want to combine a way to search maybe from my website and see what's in the MLS, as well as search what's coming in the future with these builders. So I think this is a great tool where you can actually combine both of these items. And Taylor, can you see my my slides there?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I switched over and it kind of gave me a weird pop-up I hadn't seen before. So I just want to make sure I wasn't messing up here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to walk through a couple key pieces of what you need to know with New Home Source Professional. What is it? Well, it's a way in this time where we're seeing record low inventory, right? And we're seeing that there's still not enough homes to meet that buyer demand. How do we take new construction properties that maybe haven't even been built yet and offer them to our buyers? How do we get them working with us and working with builders who have up and coming communities that maybe haven't even broken ground yet? So that's really where the BDX comes into play. And basically, what that is it's brokers across the country that in the year 2000, so it's 24 years old now, thousands of brokers across the country who are looking to work with buyers today basically said, let's build a tool, a builder's tool that will allow them to see what we have upcoming in their communities. So basically, it started with 1,000 builders from coast to coast that said, you know what? Hey, let's go in and let's give them a way to see what's coming to their market, even if it's not in the MLS yet. To now, we've only been able to show our buyers what's in the MLS, right? Now we have a way to show them even what's coming up while working with those builders. And here's what I really like. When you go in and let's say you set up a search for your clients. They can go in, they can actually see, if you can kind of see under the status, they can see what's in process. They can see what hasn't been broken ground yet. So this one's brand new, they haven't even started it. And they can also see what's completed. So completed is going to be this black icon. We're going to go through it in just a second. The in process homes, kind of these shaded homes, as well as stuff that they haven't broken ground on. So it's a way not only for you to show homes that they can't see anywhere else, but it's a way to show them how far along that construction is. If they maybe need to be in the next 3 months, they can see that. Um, but it also allows you, the agent, to register your client with the builder. So if they walk in and they start talking to this builder, the builder knows this lead came from you, and it knows that, oh, yeah, Colleen submitted this lead. This is the agent it came from, and make sure that you get paid as the person who brought that buyer directly to them. Of course, it will show you areas, and I liked this because it actually focused on some of the builders. Some of these builders have done these beautiful professional videos. Someone over here that I know just completed theirs. It's third generation family, and they wanted to show how their great grandfather actually started the company, about the quality of the materials that they use, who they are in the industry. So I really love that they included all of that. So right at the top, I can go ahead and request to register my client with that builder. I can email that builder. They're going to see elevation plans that the builder has, different floor plans that are available, different models that are coming. Again, even if that person has had maybe just started looking, if I know that this might be a community that they're interested in, we want to make sure if they walk into one of their models, I'm the agent who registered that person ahead. Of course, they can do their own searching as well, but it's also going to allow you to put some great stuff on social media. So you can say, hey, buyers, new up and coming community for Lombardo. They're going to be breaking ground in the spring. Here's some of their floor plans. They can launch tours. And again, being able to see all of that, even the floor plans, in one easy site. But as I mentioned, you can also hook this in to your website. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. Here's some great examples of social media posts. Hey, if you've been looking for a while, why don't you use me? Because I am connected to these up and coming builders and up and coming communities that they're just breaking ground on, that you can't find in the MLS, that you can't find on Zillow and other sources. This gives you a way to promote yourself and stand out, even with stuff they currently can't see anywhere else. So, obviously, the idea is you're registering them. So, if they do start working with any of these builders, they know that you are the one who turned them on to that particular model. Now, should you still make sure that you have a broker to broker agreement in place, that you're getting in writing what you expect to be paid? Absolutely. You still want to make sure all of that is being done in writing so there are no surprises. So let's talk about how you get there. Let's go there next. So, as I mentioned, I'm trying to stress it over and over again. Really, when you're in Paragon, resources is going to be where all your tools are located. And this one is no different. You're going to find this also under the social media and lead gen area. Just before we jump in, I did want to mention while we're right here that because we're recording this class, remember how I told you you could come back at any time because we're going through this at a pretty good clip, right? And Taylor's going to take you through a whole lot of information in just a moment that you're going to want to probably go back to at some point. So under your resources, this is also where you can find those recorded classes. So if you click on recorded webinars, Taylor's done a phenomenal job of creating a great YouTube channel. It will take you right there. And if you just click on videos, all of the classes with the date next to it, so you'll see today's date, you'll simply look for tools to tackle low inventory. It'll pop up as the latest video. It'll have today's date next to it. so you can fast forward to anything that you may have missed. Because I know I'm going through some of this rather quickly, and I don't want you to feel lost or overwhelmed. Know that the class will be there and you can always go back to it. That being said, there are classes on each one of these products. So if you say, hey, Colleen, I know we looked at it at kind of a high level, but I'd like to know way more about Cloud CMA and all it has to offer. Again, under resources, where you find education, there is our education corner. I love this because it's basically an interactive catalog where you can register for any of our classes. So, again, if you want to take the next Cloud CMA class, you can register right from here. I do also want to plug Taylor has an awesome photography class. If you haven't taken it, it's coming back up. It's always a sellout. So you want to register quickly because she can only take so many, but it's actually a three-part class. I actually thought I took pretty good photos until I took her class and I realized there was so much more I could do. She shows you great tips and tricks to take photos of those little powder rooms. You know, the ones where you're either standing in the mirror, which looks awful, or you've got the toilet like front and center. She'll show you tips and tricks to take much better photos in that three-part class. So all of our classes are listed in the catalog. All you have to do again is go into resources, go under education to the education corner, and you can sign up for any of our upcoming classes. Okay, so let's get into New Home Source Pro. You're going to find that again under resources. Go ahead and click on it, take you right in. Now, the first thing you want to remember to do is you want to remember to go in and you're going to want to set up your site. That's the most important thing. So, your site is going to be called myshowingnew.com. And this is where you're going to go in and you're going to link it to your website. It's where you're going to put in all of your contact information. You can even adjust the name that you want your site to be. So I wanted it to kind of match what my website is. So my site name is Colleen Sells Michigan RE because that's the site that I also have where people are searching for properties from the MLS. And I want to tie those two together. Of course, you can put in your social media sites. You're going to add things like your photo, your brokerage branding, you can even go down here and add in, I just added some of our My Real Source designations, but you can add in other designations that you may have earned. You can set up your footer, what you want that to look like. So you want to set up your site first. That's really the key. You can write a page about you, but let me kind of show you the cool advantage. So, as I mentioned, they're not just searching for new construction, right? You want them to be able to see the new construction that's coming. You want them to be able to do searches themselves. But I also want to tie that into my site so they can actually toggle by clicking on my logo at the top. They can go into my website right from there. So I love that. It's a way to tie both of them together. And of course, as I mentioned, you can set that in, you can set that up right under when you log in. That new your site you can customize with your name. And as I mentioned, I kind of wanted it to match what I have set up for people searching on my personal site. You can tie those two together so they can go to one place and search for both what's on the market and what's not yet on the market. Hopefully that's making sense so far. Of course, you can save searches for your clients. I'll open up one I did recently for my friend Joy. So when they go in and they start to do their searching, they can go in and obviously save homes, but I want to pull up this one because I think this is the one that had the really good builder view. So if I want to register my client with this particular builder, I can do that right from here. I can see that they've started. It's not just where they haven't broken ground yet. It is actually under construction. I can get more details. I can see the floor plan views. I can see neighborhood information. I can see different promos that they have. I clicked on one, I hope I saved it, I think I did, that had some upcoming harvest events where you could bring clients, they could get a pumpkin for the kids, they had bounce houses, they had things like that registered under their events for the season. Of course, there's maps in here, community information, but it's really allowing you to go in. You can save these searches so that you can pull them up and discuss them with clients. Of course, it's very easy to send details over to your clients. Um, Go
Hey,
in and pull
Colleen,
up. Yes,
interrupt? We've had
yes,
a few, I think we have a few agents that belong to different, our vendor MLSs that don't have all three of these tools. I know you mentioned at the beginning, but could you mention, what they should do if they don't have these tools, or kind of explain to them why they're not seeing them?
absolutely. Yes. So it depends on which MLS that you're coming in from. And it does make it a little bit more challenging when we invite all of the MLS, our vendor MLSs. So if you're a My Real Source member, you may not know, but we actually provide vendoring to 10 MLSs. And what that means is we offer products and services out that we've built all the integration. It saves costs, it saves time. But each MLS may carry different products and tools. So if you're with the Upper Peninsula Association of Realtors, you have one set of tools. My Real Source members may have an additional set of tools. Some offer this tool, but not this tool. So if there's something that you don't see that we're covering right now, you're more than welcome to reach out to Taylor and I. We can let you know if you have that tool or you should have that tool. But if it's something that you like, we encourage you also reach out to your AE and say, hey, how do we get this? Is this, something that we offer in our area? So again, whether you're with the Claire Gladwin Board of Realtors or the Upper Peninsula Association of Realtors or Bay or Saginaw, just depending on which board you belong to, that kind of determines what tools they offer. But if there's something you see here that you don't have access to, call your AE and say, hey, I really like this tool. Do we have it? Or, hey, I'd like to have this tool. It's a little bit hard because we've invited all of our vendor MLSs into all of our classes. So the goal is you may not see everything that you have. There might be some tools that you have that we're not showing, and vice versa. Might be some tools that we're showing that you may not have access to. So I apologize with 10 and all being different. It does make it a little more challenging. So hopefully that kind
But
of
it's
answers
also
that question.
helpful. It's also helpful for agents and the associations to know what tools agents maybe are interested in or what's out there.
Right.
So, just keep that in mind. Still see the product and how it works, and if that's something that would be a value to you, and you actually see you using it. And when they hear from enough agents, then they know that that's something to maybe bring on. And if it's not a demand, then they're not going to bring it on.
Absolutely. And sometimes they're, like we brought Kuba Casa on, and that was something we just flipped the switch and turned it. There was no cost for it. So, but they have to hear from their members that that's something that they're interested in. So again, many of the tools don't even have a cost associated with them. It's just they want to hear from their members. Is this something that, that you guys would use? Which before they go through turning it on for everybody and training everybody on it. So absolutely, if there's a product that you're seeing that you don't get, that's when reaching out to your AE to say, hey, that's how we. Matter of fact, all 10 of our vendor MLSs now have Kuba Casa. That was like one of those things we could flip on a switch. There was no cost to it. We got a lot of benefits from it. And we had a lot of different services and discounts that if you did upsells on particular products. And matter of fact, I just have been playing with the new enhancement that they released last week, and it's awesome. I mean, I am so excited about it. So, that's really how these different MLSs bring on these types of products. So don't be afraid to speak up, ask us if you already have it, or ask your AE if it's possible that you could have that added on. Good question. And I tried to cover that in the beginning because I know that that question does come up a lot. But you can import your client lists. You can add clients in. As I mentioned, you can save listings. You can save searches. And go into a good example here. I tried to save a couple good examples this morning just to kind of um, show you what those clients can see in the way of videos. Of course, they can search, they can go in and click on your site and search. Maybe they're looking in Macomb County and they want to find properties in Macomb County. They can type that in. I just love that it's convenient for the clients to not only see all the elevations and the floor plans, but I love that they can get the builder info here, that they can get the upcoming events. You also can see if there's an agent promo. A lot of times that they're running, hey, we have an agent bonus that, if your client closes by this date, there's an agent $5,000 bonus. So very cool things like that. Of course, you do. I know Dave makes us say this a million times a day, but you do want to make sure anytime you're showing your buyers homes that you have a buyer representation agreement in place. And as I mentioned, if you are registering your client, you do want to make sure that you are getting a compensation agreement in place with that builder to know. Now, it does, in many cases, they will you have you contact a sale agent, but I like everything in writing. I'm still that person who says, everything should be in writing, and making sure that you have that buyer representation agreement signed first prior to showing any properties. But you also want to make sure that you have that compensation agreement in place. And again, they can see videos of the homes. I love that they just made it really that easy, that everything is in one spot for your clients. So they don't have to drive to all these different communities. They can check them out even before when they just start looking. All right. And I know Taylor's got a lot of things that she wants to cover too, but client searching, of course, clients can go in. They can, let's say that they wanted to find properties in Macomb County. They can start typing that in. Very easy to use. Again, I can't recommend enough tying it into your existing website so they can search both on market and off market things that haven't been built. So they can search new construction and what's in the MLS at the same time. Again, clients can go in, they can put in more detail. Maybe they're looking for 3 bedrooms, 2,000 square feet. They can create their own searches. They can obviously share it out with others. But I do love that when they go in, everything's in one convenient space for them. They can do a report on the property. They can see this one, they haven't even broken ground yet. You can go ahead and save that listing. So that is one that they can come back to. And again, I can go in and see things like the elevation, the different elevation plans right here, different floor plans that they're going to offer, all of that right from here. So I thought it was really easy because everything was finally in one spot. And again, if they're looking for on market properties, they can click on the logo and then jump right over into on market properties, like by putting in an address or an MLS number that they could see now. All right. So I think with that, Taylor, did I miss anything? I know I went through it at a pretty good clip, and I want to make sure I leave you enough time too. Did I miss anything here? Anything you want me to cover before I hand it back to you?
No, you did a wonderful job. Thank you. So that will, makes it easy for me to kind of dive in and use it for the lead capture, setting up the account, things like that. So, but yeah, you do a wonderful job explaining that. So thank you for taking that on.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I'm
Yep.
turning it over to you.
Okay. You seeing Paragon now?
Yep.
Okay. So one of the questions that we did get was, how did you get here? So all these tools that we're talking about are right under the resources icon, lumped under social media. So that's what I'm going to show you guys, is now how you can marry these products together, taking it a little step further on Facebook. If you wanted to link on Instagram, you can do that. But as you'll see, there's market stats, as Colleen showed, new home source, and then of course the Cloud CMA is going to be under Cloud CMA under the CMA icon. Now, when I go into these tools right here, I'm going to start with market stats. Colleen went through all the features here and how you can customize that. So when you design your graph, I have some sample ones on a business Facebook page I'm going to show you, but you can go in and you can hit that share. So not only are we using one tool, which is great. We're happy to see agents even using one tool on their business page, but let's really use that to sell that story, as Colleen mentioned. One of them that you can do is you can narrow it down to, a specific municipality if you wanted to, or the entire MLS, which has all of our data sharing as well in there. So it's going to be really accurate statistics for you to use. So when you have that graph that's going to tell that story of that percent change and how much more they're going to get from their house from where it was a year ago to 3 years ago, you can just go into the share. And as Colleen mentioned, there's the static and there's the live. In the presentation, I talked about how you can incorporate this into a blog on your site as well. So if you just want to have a general, here's what's going on in the market and an interactive graph, you can go in and you can do that and choose live. But for a specific post where you're referencing certain areas, percent change, you could get $30,000 more for your house than where you were 3 years ago, or even sometimes 1 year ago, that's going to be static because you're going to want to share that. So when you go ahead and you can grab that link, I'm just simply copy and pasting that and putting that over into my Facebook page. So here's a sample business Facebook page that I have. Now, you should always have a business page first. So make sure if you do not have a business page to set one of those up. If you are sharing anything for commercial gain, it should be on a business page according to your terms and conditions when creating a Facebook account. So not only that, if you are sharing things like that, you could actually get locked out of your page. I've seen it happen to agents before. But you're also doing yourself a disservice with all of the features that are available in a business page that you're seeing here. You'll have a dashboard where you can manage your posts. You have insights. This is where you can see statistics on how well your ads, posts, and boosts are performing. A whole ad center if you are running some ads, a section where you can create an ad. And then there's the Meta Business Suite. The Meta Business Suite is where you can do both boosting and ads. Sometimes I think this ad center creating ads is kind of redundant. I tend to just, stay within the Meta Business Suite. So when you go in there, you can then create that post. You can paste that in if you wanted to share a link to that graph. The one thing I will say, one little important tidbit, is if you are going to really share that attention grabbing post, you want to have some sort of visual. So you want to make sure you either, depending on what product you're sharing, you're going to want to make sure that you take a screenshot. So for me, I ended up just copy and pasting the URL up here because that's the way I went about it. But if you wanted to, you could go into the Facebook icon, and then from there, it does a really nice job loading that photo for you. And then that's when you can toggle. I'm already signed, swapped over to my business page. But if I was on my personal page, I could then simply toggle to my business page. So it's kind of all how you get from, one place to the next. For me, when I build an ad, I like to be really specific on the photo that's displaying in my ad because it's an ad, right? That's what's going to be really important. So I want to make sure that if it's the graph that needs to be displayed, I would share from this Facebook icon right here because it's going to automatically load for me. Now, if I didn't do that, what's going to happen is it's just going to display the URL like what you're seeing here. But that's okay if you are trying to show something different. If you're trying to use these products together, you can do that, okay? So let me kind of give you a little example. I have some sample posts here first I just want to go over. Now, when you share your posts on Facebook, you have some options here. You can go right to your timeline and start it. And if you want, you can, once it's published, you can boost. You'll see a little boost button. Or you can go into the Meta Business Suite, which I'll go into in a minute, and just build it from scratch. You can run it as an ad, you can run it as a boost, or you can just make it as a organic post is what they call it. So for an example of marrying these two products together, Colleen showed the one with Cloud CMA and Market Stats, where she pulled the graph right from Market Stats, and then she pasted in that short URL within the lead generation piece of Cloud CMA. So let's work with New Home Source now. Here's an example. These example posts are in your handout to kind of give you a rough start. You can use a lot of the same lingo. You just might need to update it so that it's relevant for today. But here's, are you interested in receiving access to the largest new construction database? It can be intimidating to think about selling your home and venturing out into the home buying process in today's market. Your dream home awaits, and I'm here to help, but also let you browse new construction homes and up and coming communities. Search here. So I put in the link. Depending on how you get here, it will load the photo. But for me, I just pasted in the link and I chose the image that displayed. And then I took that quick action link that is in Cloud CMA, and I'm explaining first you need to see what your home is worth and create your own comparable market analysis report. They might not know what a CMA is, so I like to describe exactly what it is for them. And then freely search new construction homes and communities. So let's see what your home is worth, and then go ahead and start searching for these communities. So when they click on this, they are seeing my public page, my agent page, but they can go in and they can sign up. So create an account and sign in. If they've already done this and they didn't save on their browser, they can go ahead and sign in. And then this is where they can start browsing communities, narrow it down to price, bedroom, all of that. Colleen mentioned that there's also the lead capture tool within New Home Source. So you can use the lead capture tool with Cloud CMA, because when they fill that out, you'll get that email, you'll get that address. So that's going to come to you too. But if you just wanted to share New Home Source, you can do that. There's this lead capture feature right in here, as well as if somebody were to create an account, you're going to get that email notification like I mentioned in the presentation. So let me close out the business suite real quick. I'll show you how all that works. Another one that you can do is just new listings. I did the entire MLS. So everybody knows right now that the housing inventory is consistently low over the past 5 years. So within Market Stats, I made a graph over the last 5 years. And as you can see by looking at the numbers, it dipped anywhere from 10 to 20% in new listings on the market. So sellers are getting top dollar for their home, but they are worried about where to live after they sell. So you're addressing the elephant in the room right now. We need to get inventory on the market. We know people want to sell their home at an all-time high. However, they're scared to list their home because where the heck are you going to live, right? So thankfully, new construction is on the rise. Why not start searching in new construction database and see new up and coming neighborhoods? So you can go ahead, you can put that link in of your public New Home Source site, as well as the graph is going to be there. So then when they click on this, they actually see the numbers. They see the interactive graph, but you gave them a call to action as well to start searching the new construction database. So you're capturing that lead right from New Home Source Pro. And really a lot of your insights and what you want to get is going to be leads to a website, which I'll show you how to set that up, but also just starting a conversation. I see a lot of pages, which I love, and I think it's a good idea, and I haven't actually done myself, and I might start doing it, is when you make a post, and then you can comment as the page and ask the question down there, so that when there is comments, people start replying back to you. So you could have something like, are you Are you interested? Is this a worry of yours that you're not going to be able to find a home? And you might get some comments, and then you can have that dialogue with somebody right within your Facebook comments. The more comments you get, the more it's going to show up on people's pages, whether you're boosting or building an ad or not. Another one that we created that you'll see in your handout is, where do you start? Right? So where do you start when you want to start listing your home? There's a lot of people like me. I'm still in my first home. I don't plan on leaving for a really long time, if ever. But if I was maybe getting a new job. I was having more children and needed a bigger house. All these reasons why people, or I'm going to get top dollar for my home and I want a new construction property that is exactly what I want now. I don't know where to start. So let's really address that elephant in the room too. Let's be that expert in the industry here and start that dialogue with your posts. You do not want to just share a link and leave it hanging out there. You are the salesperson. You need to go out there and you need to get their attention, tell them what's up, and then a call to action, right? People need that, why they should care. And then I put the Cloud CMA lead capture link right in there. And then I tied all three of these together that Colleen just showed. I also did a new home source, and I also have my website. So if people want to start searching on IDX, they can do that. They can see what their home's worth. They can search Nerd Construction. And if I wanted to, I can also show a specific area that maybe I'm advertising in. What if I'm advertising in Shelby Township and I just want to have an ad running right there in Shelby Township? I can make a graph on market stats for just Shelby Township and share that as well. So all of these sample posts are here for you. My favorite one is the one that Colleen just showed, because it really, really shows that you are the expert. You're looking at the numbers. You're putting it in perspective for people. She's an amazing salesperson when it comes to real estate and everything. But she's putting at that dollar value to why people should care, not just some basic language. She really went in and she said you could make approximately 40,000 more selling your home today than you did 3 years ago. And that's only for a 1,500 square foot home. And the numbers don't lie. You're not being fluffy. They have the graph. They can see it for themselves. So now that we've got some sample posts, got the wheels turning on ways that you can use all three of these products, go into your business page. And when you do that, you can go into your professional dashboard. I'll just show you real quick. This just gives you a snapshot view, right? This just kind of summarizes what's going on here. And then when you go into your page, you can really break all that down. But what we're here to learn today is going to be your Meta Business Suite. Let's take all of these tools and tie them together in a post. We can do it as a post, we can do it as a boost, and we can do it as an ad. There's more advanced things that you can do as well with creating reels, which are sort of like movie slideshows that you see a lot of, or create a story, which pops up at the top of their page where people share stories. A lot of times if they click on one story, it moves on to the next. So you're kind of guaranteed to get eyeballs if you do a story. But for getting started and using all these products together, let's just create a boost. And then I'll show you some of the ways that you can also create an ad. So for me right now, I'm going to go in and just kind of create something briefly from scratch. Okay, I have my page right here, my new home source page right here. And I want to get that post going. Now, because I took it from the URL at the top, this is the way I'm going to design it. I'm going to put in that link. And what it does is it just pulls up my profile. So what I really like to do is display the search image. And then once that loads, taking a minute, once that loads, I can write my description that we talked about. I can also paste in the Cloud CMA URL. I can also paste in the graph if I want to, and I can go in there, write my description that right now is, you know, a great time to sell, maybe intimidating to list your home because you don't know where you're going to live next, but check out these new communities, see what your home's worth, use any of those products and paste in those URLs. You can also you'll also want to maybe schedule this out for when it makes sense for you. You can come back, you can finish it later if you want to look at it with fresh eyes. But let's go in and start boosting that post. And here's where I can now go in and I can either connect to my Instagram so you can have them running at the same time. One thing that I recommend doing, given what we're talking about, is making sure that you have your special ad category. There is a housing category, so it filters it to make sure there's no inaccurate information, there's no fair housing violations in your post. A real person at Facebook, they get a notification to screen these ads if you check that and get that approval. If you don't do that, what could happen is you could run an ad and then it gets scanned later and gets removed, which is a big bummer. So you don't want to do that. But once you've checked your housing, make sure that you do that. You can now go in and you can set up your audiences for a boost. So some examples of audiences that you could maybe do, you could just really keep it generic for certain markets. Like if you're creating a graph or you're promoting a community within, you know, Shelby Township where you're doing a lot of your business there, you can go ahead and you can just set up Shelby Township, Macomb County, buyers or sellers, so you can kind of gear that audience that you're building from there. That's where you would set your location. You could also go in and you could browse different demographics. So you can go in, you can choose that audience. You can set and schedule the duration of your boost or your ad. So when you go in, you can choose that date that you want to start and the time, and then how long you want to run that. Now, mine's already set up with a card, but you would have the option to set your budget, and then it would prompt you to plug in your card one single time, which is really nice. So you can go in, you can set that budget for however long you want to run that for. It will give you a recommended dollar amount for how many days that you are promoting that. And it gives you an idea of how many people are actually seeing this boost. So it's going to be people who already like your page or familiar to your page or similar to your page, I should say. But it's also going to let you choose an audience that you built. So once you've set that budget, you can hit publish. And what's going to happen is you'll see on your little planner calendar over here, you will see when it's going to go, when it's going to be live. If you scheduled it, you can look at it from a month's view, anything that's going on. You can also see what's running live right now. You can see any kind of notifications that you get on those boosts, on those ads. And then here's the insights as well. So over here, you'll see a little graph. This is going to give you insights. So you're going to narrow it down to specific posts. It'll give you that summary, what audiences are really performing well. So that specific audience that you set, it will let you know. Reach is where people are going to, is that overall, altogether total of people that saw your post. Organic is going to be anybody that saw it that wasn't through the ad. So a lot of times that's going to be people that just recently saw the post at the top of their timeline. They didn't see the ad, they're seeing it because they like your page. And then ads are going to be that maybe $20 that you spent to boost that post that you created. Now, this was all within the Meta Business Suite. but you can go in and you can actually build an ad too. So what I just showed you was setting up a boost. Now you can really get specific with your boosts. Now an ad, you have to be more generic with your ads. So depending on what you're trying to do with an ad, if you're trying to promote your actual Facebook page, you can create an ad that they should like your page. You could have them visit your website. That can be one. That's where you could use your CRM, or just to get more leads where they can send those direct messages right to your Facebook page. So for this, very similar, you can already use an existing post that you've made if you would like, but the ad is going to kind of pop up. It shows you a preview, which is nice, but it's going to show up as those little ads that you see off to the side. It can show up as a story. You have choices here. Same thing where you can select the media and you can upload that specific photo that you would like right here. So you have control of exactly how the ad is going to display. Okay. This is called a carousel, where there's multiple photos that scroll if that's something that you would like. You're going to have a headline. So this is what's different from an ad to a boosted post. Is a boosted post looks more natural, like it's just a post that they followed. It doesn't feel like it's an ad right in their face. But for the actual ad, you have to have a very short and sweet 25-character headline, and then there has to be a label. So the label is going to have that call to action right within there. So if they want to donate, they want to sign up, they want to view, apply now, book now, and then you have to put that director. So is that where that URL is going to be going for them to contact. Now, when you go in, you can choose your audiences. The audiences are the customization, like I said, is not as free as a boost. So when you go in, it's a little bit more narrow. You still have some of those same options, but there's not going to be as many to choose from. But what's nice is it does really look like an ad. So when I tell agents, if you're going to use an ad, use it for maybe a specific website where for them to create, more like the New Home Source, I would recommend, because that is branded towards you. Another thing would just be your agent website, your Facebook page. If you have a YouTube channel where you have like a resume video, something like that, that's going to be more like commercial-ish video, that's when you would do an ad. But for a lot of what we're showing today, I recommend starting with boosting. And then your ad, you can also schedule, you can choose when it's going to end, and you can choose your total budget. And if it's not performing what Facebook recommends, it will let you know so you can up your budget or you can make suggested changes. Facebook also has a way that you can, when you have a page and you are actually very active on it with boosting and ads, you will get assigned a rep. So if you ever need to set up any kind of consultation between somebody at Facebook as to recommendations that they think you should be doing, ways that your audience maybe is too narrow or too broad, or those specific goals. I've set one up one time with people because we were really looking to make sure that this event that we were running was really showing up for all our members. And I had a consultation with somebody from Facebook. A lot of what I was doing was right, but there was one little thing where I was able to kind of narrow that down if I needed to, so that it wasn't anybody who really wasn't our member or wasn't in the real estate industry. So you have that option once you've started actually being pretty active on your Facebook page, which is really nice because they used to not do that back in the day. And when you are done with your ad, you will get a receipt sent to you. Obviously, keep track of all of those for your own taxes purposes and marketing budget and all of that. But right here is going to be the little differences of an ad. You can add multiple medias too with an ad, like I said, that carousel. You can add videos. There's different flexibilities with both features of the boosting and the ads. And a lot of this is trial and error. I've made a lot of errors. Done a lot of trials on posts and what people respond to, what activity we get. And even if we don't boost it or advertise it, I still get insights on how many people actually saw the flyer for an event or for our classes. I just posted some photos from MAR of a lot of the agents that came to our booth, or the Michigan Realtors Convention. Sometimes I slip and still say MAR. And we get a lot of, insights on those of which ones does our audience really want to see. Now, really briefly, now we might be running over a little bit here. Now, you may not have Cubicasa if you are one of the agents that we vendor.
Actually, everybody has Cubicasa now.
Everybody has it now? Okay,
that
good.
That is the one we can guarantee.
Okay. All right, then. We don't have to worry about that. All right, so Cubicasa is available for everybody, our members, everybody we vendor. And what this is an app that allows you to generate a floor plan. So if you are not already using this, go under resources and click the specific link that's Cubicasa there, because from there is where you're going to get the URL that allows it to be a member benefit. And what it's going to do is let you set up a account, and then you can download the Cubicasa app, and it allows you to scan the listing. It's going to give you directions. It's going to really see, this will be the link that you'll see. You get a basic floor plan included in your My Real Source membership. So that's up to 5,000 square feet. And then any of the extra bells and whistles are 25% off. So any of the tours, any kind of the interactive, I love that new interactive floor plan that they recently launched as well. There's a lot of different features that Cubicasa offers. But for the basic one, you get an image of that floor plan, a report, the square footage for each rooms. You can go in and you can edit the names of the rooms. You can customize it for your logo, your color schemes. And it's really, really great because it gives such an accurate depiction of that. Even the funkiest shaped homes, like this round home right here, you can do the landscaping, you can do the pool, you can do outside dwellings. And the square footage is, I think, what was it, 98 points something accuracy. So you definitely want to utilize Cubicasa. A big goal of ours is to make sure that we have listings that have floor plans on every single one of their listings moving forward. Very quick delivery, 24 hours at the longest to get your Cubicasa floor plan scan sent to you. And right within the app is where you can make all your choices, any add-ons, anything like that. So it's going to be a little video. I'm going to turn it down because the music is a little loud. So as you can see, this guy is walking through. Looks like he's starting in the upper level, maybe the lower level. But you want to do one continuous scan, open the windows, open the doors. This scan gets sent to real people. It's not just generated roughly. It actually is being examined by real people looking at the footage before they create the image that's sent to you. So one of the things that I was worried about is I had baby gates up and a lot of boxes that were blocking the walls down in our basement. We have a really big fireplace that kind of divides our rooms, and I thought that maybe it would think it was just a wall. None of that was an issue. It recognized it because there's real people there um, finalizing this scan for you. You can then go in and submit through the app what kind of order you want, customize it, and then you have a 24-hour turnover. Any additional things that you want to add onto it is right there for you. All right. Colleen, is there anything I missed that you want to mention about Cubicasa or any of the products?
No, I thought you did an awesome job. You walked us through like A to Z. I think it was great.
Thank you. You too. I know we ran over a little bit, but I just like to really kind of cover everything thoroughly because I know a lot of agents are not building ads as much as they maybe want to. So a lot of it is just get in there and play around with it, trial and error. Don't be afraid, and just combine all these tools. But make sure you're writing a little couple sentences at least about all three of these products, so that the consumer knows to care and why they should care. And
Lots
then
of
that's
positive feedback. So
yeah, good.
lots of positive feedback. Thanks everybody for your time today, and happy selling. Go list some houses. We need some inventory, right?
And we know this was a lot of information, went into a lot of different things. So this will be recorded, as Colleen mentioned. I pasted the URL to our YouTube channel in the comments, and I also put the upcoming photography classes that I'm teaching in the chat to in the GoToWebinar panel. So both links are there for you, and you can rewatch this if you need to, which a lot of people probably like to rewatch some of this content if they need to.
It's a lot, but it's all great stuff. And it's a great, even going back, you might not do it for a couple of months. Just being able to go back to that, I think is very helpful. So great job today.
You too as well. Thank you. And we hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your week. And I'll talk to you later, Colleen.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.